You know, when I was starting to get deeper into the LISA fandom, I always had Unbreakable in the back of my mind. I downloaded it early, thinking that I will play it soon, but never actually touched it, so it was just sitting there in my game folder. Until a few weeks ago where I played it, and boy does it need some recognition. But you probably think, hey fan, isn't the game already pretty popular in this small community? Well, you are right, but the thing is, I noticed that people talk about it less than any other LISA fan games, despite the quality the game has. Even Vegaful get talked about more in the Reddit and also Hopeful Discord server, despite having less followers. So you know what, I'm going to do a review on it to let new LISA fans know about the game, help decide if it's worth their time or not, and freshen up the memories of LISA veterans. Also figuring out what's wrong with the game. I'll divide this review into 6 parts: production, story, characters, world, combat, and ending. Well, let's get started, shall we? Also, beside the ending section, it is completely spoiler safe, beside the obvious stuff, of course. Also, this is going to be my first review, so please be gentle. I hope you like my new intro. I spent a while making it, but I know you guys will love it. Hopefully. I want to give huge thanks to Frog Vivo for his guides. It helped me a lot in my second playthrough. Sub to them if you haven't, won't you? First, let's talk about the production to explain what the hell is going on. Like, why is there 2 games, is the old version still being developed, and just the general things about the production of this game. LISA The Unbreakable was a LISA fan game that, from what I know, started production in 2017. Created by Fred Fudge with the help of many well-known individuals in the LISA community like Taco Salad, Scary Lemon, and Edwina Skandrotas. Damn this game. During the production, the dev uploaded some teaser test video. They included some funny moments and battle concepts that are unique and new at the time. Sadly though, most of these are scraped, even though in my opinion, these are really good and should have made it into the old version. But not only that, from the look of it, these videos are only a fraction of content that is scraped from the original game, seeing how the new edition is going to add most of this back. Anyways, I assume because of people that helped make this game, and the test video, which includes some interesting concept, give people high hopes, and 3 years later, in June 2020, the game was released. It got mixed back. People have high expectation, believing that it will be at the level of hopeful and pointless, just to be hit with a buggy game with a confusing storyline. Due to this, the dev confidence plummeted, and they really thought that they are not suitable to create LISA game. which is a shame because he created a solid LISA game. Not very good, definitely not bad, but a fine LISA game. A solid LISA fan game that have a massive flaw stopping it from reaching greatness, which we will discuss later. Also, despite the flaw this game has, many people like this game. You can see the proof of it in the Game Joel comment section and in the dev's YouTube, and me myself love it. And I'm not gonna lie, despite the confusing story and ending, it's definitely have its own charm. Due to how the dev felt about the game, in July 2022, he announced that it will be the last update for a while, which ended up being its real last update, as the dev planned to remake the entire game from scratch. Maybe I'm wrong, but from what I read here, the paint mode he developing ended up becoming the remake, so he decided to abandon it, I think. Anyways, they released screenshot of the new OK edition of Unbreakable 1 month later and a trailer 10 months later. It is set to release in June 20, 2021, but as you can see, that aged like a milk. Probably this year in June. Well, I hope my LISA bros. So in conclusion, is the old version still being developed? Probably not. Is the OK edition still in production? My info is very limited, but from this screenshot I find, I think it is safe to say that it's not looking good. Still though, there is still rumor that it's still being developed, but there are no legitimate source to this. Perhaps this video will push the dev to make an announcement. Well, now that it is done, let's focus on the old Unbreakable, shall we? Burn, baby, burn. Burn, baby, burn. The story is basically like this. It's separated into 4 parts. The prologue, which you can skip by pressing the fridge 3 times, but will miss some item if you do so. Day 1, Day 2, and Day 3, the final day. Yeah, that's why the ending has its own section. Before we start, I just want to say that the story is pretty simple, but there are moments in the story where I will say that it makes it more confusing than it actually is. And this isn't counting the ending. Like, I guess the original idea that the dev had still sticks in there, and he doesn't bother to change it even though it can mess with the storyline big time. Okay, now let's start. The title screen is the same like in the OG LISA, just a simple gallows, but instead of LISA hanging, it's a, well, when I first played this, I thought this is a puppet. Like that puppet, you know, the one where you move it using strings, just without the hands and legs. I thought it's supposed to symbolize something in the story, but nope, it's just a sock, because our main character has a hobby for sock play, puppet play, which become more than just a hobby. Our story starts in an island far away from the mainland of LA. Mr. Tim is a juvenile adult that is a paraplegic, accompanied with his friend Lucius. These two are the main characters and who you will be spending time the most. They live in a settlement on this mystical island with many other folks where they live perfectly peaceful life until one day Tim, along with his friends, found a fresh dead woman in a fridge. Tony, a friend of his, has a plan to scam the local warlord using the dead body for some quick bucks to improve their settlement. They all both agree and go to the main island, but something happened on the way. And they got separated. Tim, Lucius, and the fridge got fished up by the locals and end up in the abandoned Olate, a corner of Olate with mountains and jungle. While Tim and Lucius are waking up, the fridge got stolen by the local warlord, and now they both are on a quest to get them back. This is where the game truly starts. Like other LISA games, on their journey, they meet a lot of bizarre and weird individuals, joy mutants, men in suit, friends, and of course, warlords. Tim and Lucius managed to survive and beat all of them in the span of 3 days, but then while fighting the final warlord, something happened. Now, the story is pretty simple except again the detail I mentioned before, but overall it is like this. But then comes the ending. It's painfully confusing, but in simple I believe that the dev want to put all these things but did not have a stable platform for it to build in a way that makes sense. You will understand later, but to give you an idea of how bad the ending is, have you ever listened to Noisemakers' remix of Mouth Wide Open? Well, you see, there is a singular white pixel near his left shoulder. Now, instead of a singular white pixel, it is burn, baby burn. Oh, burn, baby burn. Oh yeah. Okay, so the world of Unbreakable is separated into three main areas: the mountains, the jungle, and the prison, with sub-area around them. The mountains and the jungle are interconnected, with jungle being the downside of the mountains, and vice versa, while the prison is on the far left, not connected to the two, but it is where you find a handy fast travel that lets you go back to certain points in other area. There are also some worth mentioning sub-area like the Shogun Village, the valleys, the lab, and my favorite is modern building that belonged to one of the warlords. It's just bizarre to see a skyscraper building in a post-apocalyptic world, but at the same time it fits the weirdness of Lisa. Due to the nature of the world, it feels big when in reality it's much smaller than that. Unbreakable is filled with cliff and huge long jumps. You will do a lot of cliff jumping to either get loot or get to the other side of the area, which will cost you some HP, of course. Unbreakable also adds a new mechanic, and that is super jump. That's what I call those, where if you press space when you are running off the edge with a rack on it, depending on the size of the jump, you can either do a normal jump for a short, more than 2 tiles jump, or super laser jump for long distance. You can also use your crouch as hooks, but this only get used twice in the prologue, so yeah. Many people criticize that the world is difficult to traverse, and there aren't enough indication of where you should go, which I completely disagree with. I don't know if I'm just lucky, but I went through the game just fine without getting lost once. For me, the world and the indication are quite clear, but considering how many people got lost from my research, I think it is pretty clear that some improvement can be made in that part. Oh, if only guys. The background are more detailed. They still use the row of mountains from the original painful, but in some part the background are more clear and artful. It is not as good as Timeless, but it is still nice to have. Other than that, the world is solid. Like the classic Lisa game, it's also filled to the brim with secrets. Some are more significant than others. Exploring feels rewarding, yada yada, it's the same thing we experience in other Lisa games. Oh, I almost forgot to mention this, but the player can only explore a limited part of the world per day until they beat the warlord, which signalizes the end of the day. Actually, this only happened on day 1. After this, the world is fully open for the player to explore. However, after every day, there will be changes made to the world. No enemy, interactions, and secrets are open. It's up to player if they want to explore it again or not. Oh yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, please press the like and subscribe button to support this very small channel. Thank you. Burn, burn, burn. Baby, baby. Burn, burn. Whoa. Timothy Chopin is your main protagonist. He is a Lester user, a paraplegic, a puppeteer, and a freed sleeper. Other than that, he is just an ordinary man with little to no struggle in life. The ending especially will tackle this problem. In a good or bad way, it is up to you. I have quite a few problems with his character overall, but one of the biggest flaw I noticed is that he have no fighting experience.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass.
So he's just running around kicking ass of multiple more trained people with zero experience or training. There is absolutely no mention of where his fighting skills came from, and I see it as a massive flaw. His character overall is pretty conflicting. Someone with barely any notable experience in life that get everything they wanted, and then able to get past obstacle without complaining even a bit. I would expect Tim to get his ass kicked 5 minutes into abandoned OLA, but not at all, I guess. Also, there is more to his character that I cannot disclose, but I will say that it doesn't make it any better, just worse in fact. I will talk about it more in the ending. Also, he has vision? It is just something Tim randomly has that the game barely explore. Let's continue. Next is Lucius, his best friend. He's a professional dancer and dances in the battlefield to support his friend. He got a multiple personality, something that the game will touch on many times. He has a dilemma about his place in the story, something that I think the game handled poorly. Overall, he's a more interesting character than Tim in my opinion. They both are the one you will be spending time with the most. Other than those two, there are 3 bonus party members. One is a new game plus addition. Despite only having 3, they are all special and has their own gimmicks. Like for example, Carl here can attack at all and only scavenge, but you can craft a weapon for him if you have the material. Even then, some weapons need item to function, like this perfume launcher, which use perfume to spray fire exactly like a flamethrower. Having 3 party members allows the dev to make a small interaction or cutscene for each of them. These aren't special or expand on their character in a meaningful way, but it is still nice to have. Other than the 3 party members, the game also has 3 main gangs: the Shogun, the Kong Conglomerate, and the Hager clan. They all unique and distinct in their own way and will give the player some hardship or help in their journey. Also, this game features drawn cutscenes. They are nice neat things that surprised me when I first played this game. My favorite are this simple picture of Tim and Lucius sitting together in Nightfall, because in this corner of OLA, Nightfall happened. Wow! As they talk about life. Baby, baby, oh baby, baby, burn, burn, burn. Like many other LISA games, the combat of Unbreakable features many combos. Not a lot, but there is some. For basic, you got Tim, the attacker of the team, and Lucius a support that give buff, distraction, and heal for decent amount. They both use TP to power their move, but Lucius here has both TP and SP. You will use TP for your main move and SP to summon Lucius's other persona. They will grant different effect and are around pretty OP. You will use this summon ability many times in the game, so prepare to sodas. This game introduces the daze mechanic, where the enemy are open to grapple when they are dazed. This allows for a grapple attack, a super attack that deals a lot of damage. And also, I don't know if this is intended or not, but if you get a crit on your grapple attack, that crit will transfer into all attack, resulting in even more damage. Enemy get dazed by some of Tim's skills and his regular attack, I'm not sure on this, and by Lucius' change of turn. Using Tim's skill is self-explanatory. You just need to do this move and pray to RNG God that the enemy will get dazed. For Lucius, though, you need to change turn or pose to shock people. This only costs 10 TP and 5 TP if Lucius already posing. It sticks after the battle and I think it has less chance for a successful days than Team's attack, but it still can be pretty powerful. Other than that, Team has a low HP equals big damage move that the player can combine with Lucius' heals to turn the enemy attention to him, allowing Team to dish out some big damage without being afraid of getting hit, except if you're unlucky, that is. The other party member also allows for more combo, but find them out yourself. Also, I think it is important to bring out that the debuff Cry reduced the enemy psych by a lot, unlike other LISA games. Some people complain that the early game is too hard, probably forget to inflict Cry on enemies using one of the team's moves. Overall, Unbreakable has a nice combat that doesn't just involve pressing and waiting for animation to end. It kinda forces the player to make strategy. Alright, now you can forget all of that. Why? Because right off the bat, the game gives you a really OP item, the Alt Record. Basically, it is an infinite use item that deals about 800 damage. Not even Firebomb deal that much damage. It is a big problem because people can simply use it when they meet an unfortunate situation. Ooh, I don't want to do all of that again. I haven't saved. Ooh. Reducing what makes LISA special. The pain. I mean, if you want to use it, go ahead, I guess. Pussy. Also, I don't know what happened, but Tim and the other party member have an attack where they use a fridge. Spoiler alert! I assume that this attack supposed to unlock when they get the fridge, but that never happened in the story. Spoiler done. I think the dev put it there because it seems cool. I don't know. Now, this part is just pure spoiler, so skip to the ending if you don't want to get spoiled. First, I just want to say that the ending is not what's solely responsible for the game's downfall. However, I believe it is the main contributor of it. This part will solely focus on the ending and try to debunk it. But before we start, I just want to say that the conclusion of the ending isn't bad at all. By that I mean Tim being saved by his father and Lucius escape from the mercenaries' grip and meet with Apollo and Gideon. I will say that it is a good conclusion to end each of the main character's story. It's the execution that I have a problem with. So let's ask ourselves a question. Why the execution is bad? Well, because it is confusing, so sudden. A lot of information being thrown in without proper recognition or foreshadowing. And sometimes it conflicted with the gameplay we had. Now, why do I think that? Well, let's find out then. Godspeed! First, Balrog. Balrog have a menacing design and was properly foreshadowed to be a force to reckon with. We never see him fight, but from how he's portrayed, we can see that he will be pretty damn strong. The cutscene in the end of the day 1 and day 2 do the job perfectly to build tension surrounding him. It really gives the feeling that he will come to abandon Ole, kill every single thing he sees, and leave. But nope. For some weird unexplained reason, he goes to Tim first, talks some cryptic shit to him, cut his ears, and leave. Don't get me wrong, Balrog is still intimidating even after that, but where is the connection between Tim and Balrog? They both don't know each other. The whole game Balrog has been prepared and foreshadowed as this Terminator-like figure, a disaster that predicted to come, but for some reason he spared Tim, like Tim is someone important to him. Now this is the first layer of confusion. Then Tim's character. This part covered the limbo scene where Tim thought he died, the torture scene, and the blue dragon scene. Honestly, it's fine. The limbo part is completely cool, but then spider breath? I mean sure, but won't it be nice if Brett's presence actually be mentioned properly way before the ending? His quick hallucination didn't do shit. Instead of that, why not, like, for example, Tim had the vision about Brett, thus explaining the hallucination and the spider breath? Okay? Then after this, Tim fight against Blue Team and Balrog. Blue Team's origin can be explored a bit, but it doesn't take a second playthrough to know that Blue Team symbolizes something within Tim, most likely the negative side. I'm sure you viewers will agree, so his appearance is fine. Again, can use some more explanation though. Then Balrog came. As I said before, the game hasn't established a clear connection between him and Tim, so of course, second layer of confusion. Then the mercenary comes to them. Why isn't this place supposed to be a limbo? A place you go before you went to an afterlife? Well, I don't know. From the look of it, these people have been following Tim from the beginning. I think they thought Tim has some connection to the girl they've been hunting about. Why? I mean, Tim found her, but other than that, he also lost her. So I don't know why they captured and tortured him. Tim can also just say I don't know or say it is a corpse, but he just doesn't tell them anything. But he seems to bear no mind telling them to go torture Lucius instead. Well, the four mercenaries that followed Tim way to the end and even to his limbo also adds another third layer of confusion. Now the Blue Dragon scene. Boy oh boy, do we have a lot to talk about. First, I just want to mention that the dreaming in an empty room or a team unable to tell the difference between dream or reality is something I cannot understand at all. But I won't blame it on the game, despite I'm sure I'm not the only one who is confused in this part. Maybe it is about the vision he had. He does have the ability to see the past, present, and maybe future. He can control it, so yeah. But the main thing to talk about is how the dragon described Tim's character. Now, the dragon told us that Tim is a guy lacking in pain and strong ambition. He fears death, he chases the phrase just because he misses woman, and he ignores his best friend. Okay, I hope I don't miss anything. We can trust the dragon because it is the subconscious of Tim or whatever. Now, I will state the obvious here. Tim hasn't showed any of what the dragon said while we played as them. It all comes like a sudden revelation that it makes us feel like we miss an important cutscene. But nope, the lacking in pain and strong ambition, which if you stretch it, could fit, but I don't know. Tim going around mountains, jungle and prison fighting people much stronger than him seems like a pretty solid display of strong ambition and perseverance. But yeah, childish violence, am I right? I don't even know what that means. Does Tim chasing the girl simply to satisfy his desire for female automatically brand everything he did in his journey as childish violence? I don't know about you guys, but that seems kinda unfair to Tim. This adds another fourth layer of confusion. Fears of death? Well, this is pretty obvious, isn't it? If Tim truly fears death, then why did he? Not only that, he seems to not show an ounce of fear too, despite always biting more than he could chew. This adds another fifth layer of confusion. Oh, don't get me started with that. There is not a single part in this game where Tim showed an interest to the dead body. Thank God. He ignores his best friend. In the end, the game did put a scene and maybe in the forest camp area too. But those aren't enough to justify Tim ignoring Lucius. From the beginning, the game did a great job introducing both of them as a good friend with long history. But it did the opposite to show how Tim has been ignoring Lucius. Like this scene come as a shock because I don't know Lucius has been feeling this way, or when Tim told the mercenary to torture Lucius instead, that doesn't feel natural to Tim's character, at least for me. In conclusion, the team we played as is different than the team the dragon told us. I'm sure this gives the feeling that the players, us, has been missing a lot of things or playing as a different character. Of course, they will get confused on this multi-layer of confusion. So these are the reasons to why I think the ending is executed horribly. In my opinion, a really simple way to fix this is to actually put those cutscenes to use. This, while it is nice and fun to see Tim and Lucius interacting, this could give a much better information. Like Lucius asking Tim why do they chase the fridge, is it worth it going around this hell of a place for a chance to get a bag of money? Or do you have other reason for chasing the girl? And Tim would say, stop, I'm tired, let's go to sleep. In one hand, it showed Tim's cowardly behavior to answer Lucius, but it also showed Tim's insensitive behavior to his friend. Yeah, it is not the best, but given the right person to rewrite it, I'm sure this could help some aspect of the messy ending. Oh, okay, finally, we reached the end. Oh. Alright, before we end this video, I just want to say that I am sorry if I sound too harsh on it. I want to make sure not to be too sensitive and at the same time too mean. As much as I know that this game is a fan game, that's not gonna stop me from treating it like an actual game and give it an equally valid criticism and praise while also roast the game in some part. Now, I have a message for the dev if you watch this, which I think he will. Fred, if you listen to this, I just want to say that the only people who are suited to make LISA game are people who dislike the original game. And I don't see you being someone who dislike it, saying how much effort you give in making Unbreakable, but at the same time, I see something else. Fred, do you still have the passion to make LISA games? Did you lose it a long time ago? The release teaser on the game you worked for years is just a text. If I were you, I won't let the lacking in editing software stop me from making an actual teaser. That combined with the clear scrap idea you left behind. If not, I'm sorry then. It is just an assumption. Also, Fred, or anyone involved in the production of Unbreakable, if you feel like I did some massive flaw, missing an important detail, or if you think I'm horribly wrong, please comment down below. Now everyone, thank you for watching this. This is my first game review, and I hope I did pretty well. Now, you may have noticed the random content I upload. Last time I did an analysis, now review. Yeah, and I plan to continue doing things like this. I must say making a review is pretty hard, but I hope I did well. Then I think that is it, folks. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. See ya!